let's talk about it, the hidden ways that high performing women lose power at work. Now, let me be clear, you do not have to fall apart to burn out. Like having a full out tantrum and just unable to do. Sometimes it doesn't look like that. Sometimes it happens from power leaks that happen silently, like in the micro decisions that we make every day. They feel harmless, even helpful at times, like saying yes to just one more thing or smoothing over a colleague's bad behavior. Come on, you've done that, right? You need cross-functional team help and collaboration. So you walk over to Bill, you walk over to Susie, and you say, hey, let's make this work, right? You're the person that's the diplomat or making it happen. Or what about when you over explain a like a perfectly valid boundary? No, I can't work on the weekend. It's the weekend? Like, come on, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, right now, we're going to pull back the curtain on these subtle, socially rewarded, but exhausting ways that high performing women, driven women, unconsciously give away their power at work. And we're going to reclaim it with clarity, confidence, and ease because true leadership isn't about overfunctioning. It's about owning your energy and using your voice like the asset that it is. I'm Sophia, and I help driven women climb in corporate without the cost of burnout. I know all about it because it happened to me, and now I help women shift the way that they use their power. Instead of using it at work, we're going to lead ourselves so powerfully that everything else around us shifts. So let's talk about the praise trap that happens at work, right? Basically, you overdeliver for approval. Essentially, we confuse praise with value, and that external validation becomes addictive. Now, just a confession here, I did good on this. I did well with external validation, internal validation. I had my own source of validation until I became a mother because I don't know how many of you have been around a newborn. Yes, you have? No? Oh, come on. Well, you know a baby, right? They reward you with their cries. They're yelling, they're crying, they can't communicate things. Let me tell you, it will beat you down. It hurt my little ego. And so I started pouring myself into work because there I could be around other adults who could see the very complex things that I was doing and appreciated them. And they would vocalize, thanks, Sophia, for picking up the slack on this project. Thanks, Sophia. I plan to get to that next week, but you took care of it. This is awesome. Thank you. Those types of things really it got me in a trap, that praise trap. And that's how I started to give away my power. So instead of me finding validation from friends or from hobbies, I said, forget that. I need to work and I got this baby. So the baby's my new hobby. So let me put everything I have into work. Do you find yourself doing that? How are you over delivering or over reliant on external validation from people at work? Let me ask, how many of you actually have a circle of friends outside of work? I know people say work is my family. Okay, but do you have friends outside of work or family that you can vent to, that you can laugh with without the guise of work? Because what happens when work disappears, or what happens when you and your work bestie disagree on things that happened at work, like some sort of internal political office politics situation? Do you no longer have a friend? I want us to think about how do we increase our circles, right? Enlarge our circles, our trust circles, people who fill us up, who give us energy, or hobbies that fill us up and give us energy. How else can we get validation aside from work or praise from our manager? What about the blurred boundary? Yeah, you say yes either too much or you say it too fast, right? The Happiness Lab talks about people who say no more. They often experience higher satisfaction and well-being. And let me tell you why. Because they're saying no. They're exercising their power versus us giving it away by saying yes. We feel like we're being a team player because we're showing up for other people and we're moving things around in our schedule to accommodate people. But when you keep doing that, your boundaries blur. Now, overgiving is not the same thing as strategic leadership. It really isn't. You think, oh, okay, by overgiving and by helping out on all these projects, I get exposure to these things. I'm making friends in other groups. I'm increasing my network. Okay, But then how are you leveraging those insights? And then when do you pull back, right? Like, let's do less. What does that look like? Have you ever done the rate per hour math for those of you who are salaried? I would always hate this equation. When you take your salary and you divide it by, you do the math, you divide it by, 53 weeks in a year, and then you divide it by 40 hours in a week. Oh no, you didn't work 40 hours, right? You worked way more than that. When you do that, it shows that you're really making less money than you think you are. And for me, I didn't mind the boundary blur because I felt like I was giving back. One of the organizations I worked for was a family-owned company. So because aunt and uncle were sitting across the table from each other and so were the cousins, I thought I was a part of the family too. Yes, I'm going to give more because I'm a part of the family. But let me tell you, when the merger happened, I wasn't a part of the family and I didn't even get a cut of any of that, right? So we really need to recognize where our line in the sand is and where our boundaries are. And doing that is hard. It's hard to say no. So for me, I pause. When people ask me to do things, I said, "Ooh, let me get back to you on that. I like the idea, but I'm not sure." Or even in text messages with friends, if they ask you, "Come on, don't you want to go out?" and you're like, "I really don't want to go out. I'm tired." Maybe just don't respond as quickly or wait. What's the harm in waiting, right? Give yourself permission to pause. And in that space, not only do you create discomfort for the person who's asking, you give yourself space to actually evaluate, is this something I really want to do? Another way we give our power away is over explaining and justifying. And for us women, sometimes we are we're conditioned or programmed to soften our power with disclaimers. Like, I know this may be a heavy ask, but can you consider this? Or does that make sense to you? Do not say, does that make sense? If someone doesn't get it, they can raise their hand. And also, what I do is I point people to resources. I'm going to explain this to you. I'll provide the double click, but if you need more resources, look in that folder. We did something similar 2 years ago, a month ago. There should be some resources there. Or Sally, who just rotated out of the group, she could be a good point person for you. And then I walk away, right? We're not going to over explain or justify, and we're definitely not giving disclaimers. Does that make sense? Take that out of your vocabulary. We're not doing it, sis. I have one more point that I want to bring up, but before I continue, leave some items in the comments. How do you see yourself giving away your power at work, or ways that you did give your power at work and now that you see it, you want other people to know about it? The last one I want to point out is the over availability myth. Over availability. Yeah, it's the same thing as always being on. By being constantly reachable, I'm effective. No, you're not. As a manager, a people manager, anytime someone on my team pinged me like, Sophia, I have a quick question, I would instantly respond, sure, tell me, what do you need? Because I felt that if I would help them in the moment, it would help me in the back end. It would help me later on because I helped them in the process. I wasn't the bottleneck and they could move forward. But what I didn't realize was I was conditioning them to trust me as their source for all information or their problem solver. Instead, let's give people, our direct reports, space to figure things out on their own, right? If they ping you, you don't have to respond immediately. You can wait 1 hour or 2 hours. Hey, did you still have that question? Or if there's certain hours, like one-on-ones, you can encourage them, hey, bring all your questions to the one-on-one and we can go through them in depth. The goal for us to be effective leaders is to empower our teams to think on their own, to be self-sufficient. Another example of being over available is inbox zero. Oh, let me tell you, have you heard of inbox zero? Yes, you've heard of it. Essentially, you tell yourself, hey, in order to be super productive, I want to get rid of every single email. I want my unread emails to be zero at the end of the day. So that means as soon as I get one in, I'm reading it, filing it, taking action on it. And that's awesome for you as like a productivity metric. I was so productive today. But by answering all your emails so quickly, you are teaching other people that you automatically respond. So they will ask you, sometimes they will flood your inbox. Other people will flood your inbox with questions they can answer themselves, things they can find themselves, problem solving things that are super easy because they know that you are the answer. You have the easy, you're the easy button for them. So instead, let's redefine what it means to be visible, right? Yes, you want to get through things in your inbox, but maybe you file things away. What needs my immediate attention right now? Who are people, what things are people waiting on me to make a decision on, right? Because a trusted leader protects her energy. So where are you giving away your power out of habit? Like not intention, but habit. And for me, it's eating at my desk because I have granola bars in my drawer. I always want to have food handy just in case I get stuck, but stuck in back-to-back meetings or stuck with a deliverable. But instead, perhaps I should raise my hand. Hey, we need a bio break, guys. And then me using that break to either go get some movement into my day instead of sitting all day, or maybe I can go walk another floor or go walk to the mailbox. Because when I'm just sitting all day, it just builds like a stagnant, I don't know, like a stagnant aura. And that's me giving my power away. My power is being activated, being energized by things. And for me, the question is, what am I doing this hour or in the next 30 minutes to energize myself? So this week, I want you to choose one moment to pause. I want you to check in and lead from alignment instead of autopilot. It's doable. Don't act like you can't. You can. And if you don't know where to start, I want you to join my masterclass that arms you with tools to help you find ways to align and then putting together like an operations manual so that way you can action those things because we don't want you to give your power away. I work with women who want to keep their high powered roles without burning out, shrinking down, or ghosting their lives. So let's work together. And if you like this message and you want to bring it to your organization with like a custom workshop, find me. Send me a message. I'll leave a note in the show notes about how you can contact me because more powerful teams start with powerful women. Don't forget to subscribe. Did you subscribe? Subscribe.